Evening all, how are we doing? Hope it's all going well. Happy Monday. Your week's off to a good start. Make some unnecessary notifications go away. Yeah. How's it going? Bit late off the draw today, but yeah, dinner always takes longer than expected. And a certain feline friend commandeered my time and attention. She managed to get me over the weekend from the look of it. I think possibly because she smelt the dinner, actually. Yeah. How's everyone doing anyway? Well, we're going to jump back into Atomfall and probably, I'm guessing, finish the DLC today, I think. I don't actually know because, you know, haven't played it before, don't know how much is left. But I'm guessing that's what's going to happen. How's it going? Evening Tango, evening Drew, early birds and all that. Evening Feline, evening Carl, how's it going? Evening Monkey Nuts, welcome on in. We're all doing well. Let's leave that crap. Cool. Yeah, good. What is the name of my cat? What's the coat colour? Her name is Molly. Molly Cat, also Princess. And occasionally Molly the Stallion, if she happens to look particularly thick when she walks down the stairs. And she is dark brown, very, very nearly black, just off black. She's a Bengal Ragdoll cross. So she is quite large and very, very, very fluffy. Absolutely adorable. So, buttons and things. So things going. She's currently lying on the living room floor. She was quite annoyed that she wasn't getting any roast beef or that we were having for dinner. And then she was offered it and turned it down. Because, of course she did. Because Princess. Yeah, mostly ragdoll. Basically a just off black ragdoll, basically. Large, fluffy, and very nearly black. Dark reddish brown, really, but she's gorgeous. Right. Remember how I do this. Like it hasn't been like 2 days and my brain is no longer functioning. So they should. There we go. Did wonder if it was going to dive back in. So, as I said last time, I said I was going to run through that last bit of the Abbey without wasting all of my resources this time, and I did so. It's way louder than I expected it to be. It's just a suddenly loud noise. So yeah, I came through the Abbey upstairs without actually shooting anybody, so saved all my resources down here. Then took out a couple of guys left and a couple of guys right. Just so they don't stumble in on me. We're down here in the crypt beneath the Abbey, and we've got some keys to unlock a big mysterious door. So this is going to be interesting, isn't it? So Prior Ignatius, who has possessed the body of Bill, what's his name, the ferryman, wanted us to bring the abbot's remains, which is his head in a jar, to him. Presumably so he could find out why the abbot hid the keys and so on and so forth. But the abbot's convinced that this angel that Ignatius is so enamoured of is no angel at all. And that this kind of shared hive mind thing that they seem to have going on is the devil's work. I don't know who's right, but I'm more inclined to think the abbot might be onto something than the prior. So we have skipped handing him the head, and we are here with the keys, and we're going to find out what happens. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. We should be... How are you alive again? Totes murk to you.
There's a body. Shit.
They were all dead a minute ago. I deliberately made sure they were all dead.
I see you over there.
Right. This won't do. Not having this. Hang on. I'm sure. Let's just check. Should be the one that we loaded anyway. Yeah. Nobody there this time. I think it loaded the wrong save for some weird reason. Possibly confused by the timing of it, I think. Oh, well, we should be okay. Osborns. Manthreads. Aldreds. And last but not least, Abbot John. See what's behind the door.
Father Prior, the king's men are here. Their boats are upon the mere beneath the royal standard.
That we should survive the predations of a heretic king, only to fall to the agents of a true believer. But, Brother Osborne, here are you, Lanford, and Aldred, but where is Abbot John?
I cannot say, Father Ignatius. We have not seen him for some hours past.
One cannot easily lose a man on such a small isle,
You
unless
will
that
be
man
more
desires to be
dead.
unfound. So,
Right, come
he
here.
distrusted us to the end. So be it. Quickly, pass into the crypt. When the commissioners arrive, they must find nothing but empty cells and voids. We shall weave them a mystery for the ages.
Right, hang on. This is really not going to do, is it? Can't follow the conversation, which is important and relevant, because I'm trying not to get murdered by a bunch of druids who shouldn't be here in the first place, because I killed them all. Look, you can see their dead friend there. I'm perturbed. I can see one over there.
There's someone over there. Last chance. Go while you're able.
Gather.
You are. You'll die. Oh, you little.
Well, if you kicked when I pressed the button, I wouldn't be bleeding right now. You better have some frickin' meds, because I'm quite annoyed about that. Oh well. Not ideal, but it'll do. Infection will die off soon enough. I should keep them off us for now. Make sure nobody's going to come at us from the other direction. That'll be good. Right, again, shall we? And here we go. An angelic symbol on the door.
Father Prior, the king's men are here. Their boats are upon the mere beneath the royal standard.
That we should survive the predations of a heretic king, only to fall to the agents of a true believer. But, Brother Osborne, here are you, Lanford and Aldred, but where is Abbot John?
I cannot say, Father Ignatius. We have not seen him for some hours past.
One cannot easily lose a man on such a small isle, unless that man desires to be unfound. So, he distrusted us to the end. So be it. Quickly, pass into the crypt. When the commissioners arrive, they must find nothing but empty cells and cloisters. We shall weave them a mystery for the ages, for 100 years at least.
And there we go. Calling our past. View 8 memories. Presumably that's all of them. Or most of them anyway. So yeah, we got a couple of corpses just in here. Interesting. And the door was sealed and locked, and not actually that thick a stone wall. I would have expected it to be at least 5 times that thick. Anyway, but yeah, it looks more like a wooden wall. The sides look like stone. Anyway, yeah. So how is it that the keys are all buried over on the mainland, except the abbot who took his to his grave? And which they were, because we were able to find them. If the 3 of the 4 people who had them, everyone except for the abbot, then came in and down here, I could only assume this door was normally and routinely kept open, and they sealed it behind them at the last moment. I would assume. Can't think what else they could have done. More corpses. It's not a spitter, it's a thuds. Lots of corpses, lots of coffins. Interesting and a bit weird. Doesn't make a great... The corpses make more sense than the coffins. You say, well, I'm gonna go out and guess. It's creepier and creepier. What do you mean, come on? Evening Berserker? Yeah, I don't foresee this ending well. In 1604, the angel fell. In 1604, the angel fell. It scorched the heavens with terrible thunder. The hills across the mere were aflame, and the earth churned. But on our isle the abbey stood, and upon our shore rested the angel, a gift from the Lord. It longed for the soil, so we placed it in a chamber under the earth. It blessed us with its essence, and we brewed the mead through which every brother could hear the angel's voice and understand its place in the land. Through this gift our abbey prospered, so it was that the Church of Rome sent John to become our abbot. Yes. Now, if they didn't know before, the large amounts of matching fungus all over the place give away quite a strong hint that it's connected to Oberon. Corpse back there in the chair. I'm guessing the prior. 1612, we were betrayed. Fallen angel. In 1612 we were betrayed. King James came to believe our angel an evil thing. Prior to Ignatius believes our abbot to have thought the same. I'm old now, but I feel the angel's strength in my pen. Prior Ignatius has led us to the crypt, and to become one with the angel to join its mass. I do not fear death, for death and life matter not. Ignatius has told us of his plan. A century will pass, and then the crypt will be open once more, and we will spread the angel's message wide. Our God is in this land. Ours is the voice that speaks through the soil. Yeah. Well, this will be the legendary voice beneath the soil. Or at least part of it, anyway. A pile of bones that's covered by a strange growth. The head is missing. Abbott? Interesting. The corrupted dagger, I could steal a piece of the relic. I don't know that I want to do that either. But I don't have either of those things, so I guess we're going to have to come back, because I have neither the abbot's head nor a corrupted dagger on me. Though I do believe I possess both of them. That's fine. We can come back. Going into the water, that would be insanity. We do have a slight problem. The door's open. Now the druids can get down here. Well, there's not much I can do about it. I have to get up here. Otherwise, I shall not be able to reclaim the things I need. Namely, probably the abbot's head. And definitely, probably the dagger as well. So, Ignatius wanted the abbot to join their collective. And he didn't. He hid the keys. What does Ignatius want with the head? Especially given that the abbot's corpse, it would seem, is in there. Something weird is going on. That's the only thing I can think that corpse must belong to, is the abbot. Why doesn't Ignatius know that? What became of him and them? Maybe the abbot didn't go in there until afterwards. But he wouldn't have been able to get in if they'd sealed the doors. I'm tempted to grab the abbot's head. We'll go and see what Ignatius wants with it. There doesn't seem to be any major advantages I can see to skipping Ignatius, but I think we'll see what Ignatius wants with it and then save and come back. Save first, rather, isn't it? Ooh. And then, right, out of the trespass zone at least, so it doesn't help. The druids will still try and kill us on sight, but which is makes the whole trespass thing a bit pointless, because, you know, the idea is you're supposed to be able to... Well, I suppose I can back off a bit by distance otherwise, can't I? It's easier to back off and keep my distance anyway.
We cannot feel out your intent.
Now we're off. To the races, I suppose. My plan, by the way, oh dear. is right. My plan is finish this game off as rapidly as we can now, because I've now added extra games and I'm having even more trouble keeping up with everything. I'm going to try and cross Atomfall off rapidly, because I think we're nearly there now, both with the DLC and the main story. So that's my idea. And hopefully... Good, we're doing all right. Hopefully we could spread things out. I haven't been able to check up... Well, did other things. I haven't yet checked up on whether or not we can jump back into Oblivion, but I might... I don't know. The other 3 games are slightly more manageable, but I still need to figure out what's going on there. I have to have a think and decide how I'm going to approach the rest of that. So still leaves the Oblivion, Tainted Grail, and the altars to tackle. Still more than I can really be coping with. But none of the others are going to get wrapped up in anything remotely resembling short order, so... yeah. I'll have to think about that. Tainted Grail's cool, but it might have to maybe go on the back burner, I don't know. Right, so I'll keep. Just in case. No, somewhere near ought to be the Abbot's head. And a corrupted dagger. I think I put the Abbot's head in here anyway. Batteries, stun sticks, and... ah, there we are. Right. So we'll go and see what the Prior has to say. Hopefully I'm not locking myself into anything too permanent there. I will save it first just in case I feel like I am doing, but we'll see what happens. Because I'm much more inclined towards destroying this angel that appears to be just some kind of weird rock from space than I am towards preserving it in any way, as it stands. But we're hearing whispers about the physics being less important than the biology from a person on the other end of the phone, whoever that being is. He being of hostile intent, perhaps. Took damage there because the game artificially prevented me from swinging the weapon. There's an unnecessary artificial delay between drawing and being able to swing. It's a bit annoying. You certainly were. There's a gate just over here I can nip through. I'm trying to get to. So they are going past, so that's fine. Successful. That was not as smooth as I was hoping it was going to be. Right, see what this prior has to say about severed heads and the like. Anderson,
Find
there we
the
go.
abbot's remains. We must continue his sacred work.
The abbot's sacred work.
A marvel! Thank you! Now we may complete the mass. Now attend. The Abbey crypt contains a most sacred object, a gift from the heavens. Some of the brothers took to calling it the Fallen Angel, and it is not an unworthy title. You must take the head there and let it join with the angel.
What's this for? What do you mean join with the angel? He told me to help me understand this place. What do you mean join with the angel?
You will see when you get there. A moment's sight is worth a year of discourse.
No.
My words are a poor echo of God's word, but the angel speaks with the voice of God.
Okay, he's still every bit the mad
When
bastard
the
he always
abbot
was then.
finally becomes one with the mass, you must be the one to commune with it. This is a great opportunity to shape the future of our order, and I trust you will treat it with reverence. You have a sharp mind, perhaps sharp enough to lead us as the abbot has.
But so this is weird because we know at his point in history that he'd cottoned on to the abbot not trusting them, and he was not happy about it, and the abbot was not, he was opposed to the abbot's goals. The abbot's goal was this fallen angel is an object of something evil about it, and he didn't trust it and wanted to avoid joining with it. Now he's trying to get me to put the abbot's head in with everything else. I feel like his goals and the abbot's do not align, no matter what he's trying to suggest otherwise. Where does this angel of yours come from? How do you know it's God speaking to you, not something else? The abbey is filled with druids. Will they still attack me? Yes. How do you know God's speaking to you? Where did this angel of yours come from?
It fell from heaven. We were blessed to receive it, and have cared for it ever since. It has given us great knowledge. As
That I
others
don't believe.
consume the angel's essence, our teachings pass on to them. And so the understanding of God's voice within this land spreads. Enough talk. Make your way to the Abbey crypt. It is a sacred duty entrusted to you. Please, return the abbot to us.
In there, Peter?
Join the abbot to the angel in the crypt. It is his rightful resting place.
Locked yourselves in the crypt. Don't think the angel should be awakened. Any of this relates to everyone. You locked yourselves in the crypt?
Yes, for that was our purpose. The stratagem we devised was to seal away the angel and our brethren with it, held in perfect grace.
Yeah, he does look rather like that, Captain.
Only the sacrist was
Also
to
old
remain
Longfellow.
without, to live in secret, and to pass down the keys to only his most trusted. We would outwait the king and his descendants until we were forgotten. 100 years was judged sufficient. Then the crypt would be reopened and the angel would awaken, and we would reclaim the abbey, if it still stood, and the island. And thence the lands around, until we were as one with all the land, and all the land became one with us.
His whole thing about reclaiming
But
it and the
Father
keys and
Abbot
stuff.
had closed his ears and his heart to the angel's voice, and so betrayed us.
I see,
He
okay.
commanded that the sacrist submit the keys unto him, and then our father Abbot, Abbot John, he hid them away. I believe it was his intention that they never be rediscovered. I believe he meant the crypt to remain shut until doomsday. He even hid his mind from us, a most sinful act of separation. He betrayed us, yet we forgive him. Without him, our congregation is incomplete.
Is any of this related to Oberon?
Oberon? Yes, I know that name. Within the Mass, there are some that whisper it. The natural philosophers of this age, the scientists, some have joined us. We feel the draw of it. Its voice floating across the water, surrounded by artifice and heresy in the place they call the Interchange. You will lead us there. That much is plain. We shall all return to Oberon in the end.
His desires are coming clearer now, and yeah, the whole joining with it. The abbot was opposed to this idea of forcing him into this collective mind when he didn't want to be. Is not something I'm in favour of, and also, yeah, his suspicions. I share a similar suspicion that this is not as good as it made out to be. I don't know enough to side with it. It's just too dodgy to me. I don't think this angel should be awakened.
You have not yet joined with the Mass, so I will forgive your misunderstanding. You wish to escape this isle, don't you? There is no true escape without the angel.
You can't literally just up and
God's
walk
return
away,
to
you
this
know?
land is inevitable. If you do not help, we will find another way. This is your opportunity to join us, to earn your escape as one of God's chosen.
I think not. Yeah, I would not join with this mass without knowing what the hell was going on first, for certain. And there's no way for that possibly to happen, so... You know, you can't possibly be like, you can't be certain about any information you might get. It's like, okay, whatever you learn about this mass could still be, especially if it's positive, geared towards tricking you. The whole thing does come off as alarming AF. It's pinned back. Don't you worry. You're not part of the plan. I'm somewhat apprehensive about this because I seem to be being pushed down a road I do not feel comfortable about. I guess we'll find out what happens, won't we? I feel like it's, you know, where there are more alternatives available in the base game, I don't feel like this DLC is providing me as many alternative directions. Okay. Made it in. Be terribly surprised if the druids floating around the bottom here have either respawned or spread out. I also wouldn't be terribly surprised if they can't come down here just to stop them interfering with the end game, end DLC choices anyway. Right, brought the reliquary to the prior. He asked me to take the head to the abbey and join it with the angel. It's prior. Promised if I could help him, he would offer me escape, though he warned me I will not be able to escape until I understand. They've got feelings and issues. Yeah, the only thing I can do right now is stick it there. Let's see how this goes.
At last, the warp and the weft of the tapestry lies complete. All is in place. The pattern emerges. I was a prodigal and believed the angel a devil, but the truth has saved me.
Yeah, the abbot, is that really you? I don't know. I feel like I haven't had another choice. Like, I can't advance the DLC without doing this, as far as I can tell, so... You're the abbot, is that really you I'm talking to?
I was the father abbot of this place. I was once John. But individuality is an illusion, a corrosive lie. To the monks, we are an angel, an emissary of heaven. To their minds, we are a god in this land. We are more. We are the land. We shall be all the land.
Yet you fell from above, so you're not of the
Call
land.
us what you will. Our voice is only their voice. But our being is inevitable and requires no name. The Abbot John knew his purpose, but he was weak and afraid.
I'm not in favour, no.
He hid himself from us. Individuality is a sin, but by your hand he has confessed that sin, and he is forgiven.
The whole sin thing is just an interpretation based on like their understanding of the world, though. What do you intend here? You killed these monks. I know the stories. Where did you actually come from?
We fell from the sky, that is true. We were fractured from the whole. The monks found
Piece
us,
of Oberon,
brought
then.
us here. But we were not delivered by the grace of any god.
No, I didn't really think so.
We were only returning to where we always belonged. You have shown yourself to be useful to us. We are roused from the slumber of centuries by your hand. Now we must rejoin the totality, to the thing your sages named Oberon. And you must join with us too.
If I destroy Oberon, I wouldn't mind putting the two together to do that.
Defeat
But
us. Then we may take back what is
Well, I'm
ours.
sure as hell not joining their mass. Feedback, what are you talking about? You asked me to end the world? Yeah, kind of. You were part of Oberon? You were part of Oberon?
As we fell, we fractured. We can feel the presence of our totality. We are spreading through the land renewed. You must realize that I speak of nothing but what is inevitable.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Everything returns to the land, and the land is us. The escape you seek, it is with your purpose. Take your place in the Palace of Minds.
I think fucking not.
Separateness is a sin. Become as one with us. Receive Mass, and we will grow together. Everyone on this isle.
A freaky twist on communion. If it wasn't freaky enough to begin
Even
with.
the heretics who seek escape will be welcomed. The abbot, the boatman, they have all found their salvation.
Exactly.
Let us rejoin to Oberon and rejoice as the land is reborn.
Well, deserves separate from you, then you are simple. Individuality is not a sin. Well, screw your sin. I couldn't give two squirts of piss about sin or the lack thereof. I'll see this place destroyed first. Well, deserves to start anyway. Well, that's kind of true, but don't put any faith whatsoever in the motives or goals of this awareness. Separate from Oberon, then you are sinful. The argument there is fairly simple. It seeks to be returned anyway. Individuality is not a sin. No point in arguing. I think I'm just going to have to say we tried persuasion, but I don't suppose that's going to work. This is definitely my preference. No, I'm going to go with the confrontational approach.
The mass will not countenance dissent. You will die as you have lived, alone.
Rejected the angel's plan. Spoke to the angel in the crypt of the abbot's head. He told me that it was originally part of Oberon. It wants to be rejoined so that the world may be saved. I refused to help, angering the angel, which now threatens me with death. The crypt has turned hostile. I use a corrupted dagger to prize a piece of the angel, a relic hidden Abbey Crypt. So, hang on. Stole a piece of the fallen angel. Use corrupted dagger to prize a piece of the angel hidden in the crypt. Voices in my head are angered, and the relic in chamber crypt has become hostile. Angered the voices of the angel. Through the abbot's head, spoke with the voices of the angel in the Abbey crypt. Caused the plan to bring salvation to the world by rejoining with Oberon and returning everything to the land. Used anger in the voices, turning their crypt hostile to me. And stole a piece. I don't know what gain there was to be had from the stealing of a piece, but definitely not helping them out and joining with their plan. Got a whole bunch of barrels, essentially. would seem to be the play, I think. Damn, it moved. See how that works? Not well, apparently. How about this? That also hurt me. Take out at least 5 enemies in one explosion. Grand slam. On the other hand, I'll take it. Screw you, motherfucker. Here we are. Hang on. Trying to squeeze through here. Apparently objected to my button choice. So I'm having difficulty moving. Infection sample. Don't know what the details of that are, but we'll let's have a look. Crafting material. Close infection when consumed. To be honest, don't think I really need that, do I? That was the wrong button. Oh well. Alright. So, we have done it. Evening now. How's it going? Still none the wiser as to what the thing is, but that's a good thing in general. Yes, angels' actual nature, other than the fact it has been able to draw their awarenesses together. We sneak out this way. Yeah. I don't know if this is necessarily the right call, but we'll give it a go. Yeah, not too bad. Too bad at all.
The Trinity has won.
Patience. They'll come back or start behind them, and good night, sweet prince.
Heretics will die.
Or alternatively,
Help me! Whoa!
None of that went the way it was meant to go, and none of that followed even remotely logical standards of gameplay. To such point, I think I'm actually going to just do that, because I'm not happy with that. Clicking to kick and all manner of stuff and just not getting the response out of the game that I'm supposed to be getting. Just they've changed things in the patch that went with this update. I don't bloody like it. It's not an improvement. Kick response has been reduced. You can't kick as often or as fast. Like it doesn't necessarily have the same effect. There's delays between pulling a weapon out and using them, which I think might have always been there. Weapons are less effective against at least the people on the island than they used to be. Elsewhere, it's just does not feel good.
Watch out, you'll be alright. Oh, you little.
Yeah, they've moved the fucking goalposts and I don't like it at all. I'm not happy about it.
I am nothing, and I am all. I see you. Death to unbelievers!
Sometimes they get stuck like that, which is also still kind of shite. But in a whole other kind of a way. Fuck you! Three shots to the head to take him down. Come on. None of this is up to a standard I'm remotely willing to accept. It's very, very annoying. Frustrated with Tainted Grail? Yeah. So, I know they're trying to make the DLC like the hardest region of the game, but they've just done it in the most shitty way possible. It's not satisfying at all. Guns don't handle as well as they did before the patch either, I don't feel like.
All are one, and one. Heretics will die.
Fuck off! My fucking health is gone in one hit. Not fucking impressed.
I used to be Vera, I think.
Hello, Vera.
I see you. Carve them up.
Oh, fuck off! I'm literally gonna beat you to death with my bare fists. Sheer bloody rage. And then I'm gonna reload. I could try a new strategy, but that one should work, so... Shooting him in the head with a bow doesn't help either. Actually, you know what? Even as I say that, I'm kind of wondering if it might, because she hasn't got anything on her head. I'll give it a go if I can land the shot. One of them does, one of them doesn't.
All are one and one are all.
Excellent, thank you for the sub. Welcome on in.
Well now, there's nobody here. Carve them up. Oh, God! Oh, be more careful. The soil will feed. Oh, you little.
Fucker. Still not having it. It's taking fucking liberties. I can't have the liberty taken, can I?
That's bad. That's really bad.
That sort of went better.
Oh, God! Oh, there's no...
Well, slightly more aggressive approach seemed to work out a little bit better, didn't it? Those fucking things! Swarm of creepy, infected bugs. Can even pull an arrow out of the corpse, that's annoying. Yeah, you can kind of tolerate that turn of events. There's something there. It's a very low res door. Oh yeah, we found this last time, didn't we? Yeah, messy troubled handwriting of those letters favoured it over the years. It was my sacred duty to care for this church. I swore to safeguard the keys to the crypt and guide their passage through the generations. Forgive me, Brother Prior, I cannot refuse the abbot's request to take the keys from me. Now I fear him an agent of the devil. My deed has doomed our isle to ruin. You went to the angel way, brothers, but my soul was too wretched to follow. Perhaps in death you will read this in the angel's light, death and life are one. That was the guy who surrendered the keys to the abbot when requested. And then decided to lock himself into a secret chamber and starved to death. And look at that. How was his not joining with the mind less of a problem to them than the abbot's? What's so special about the abbot? His authority is the only thing I can think of. Ever need a shortcut again? Taking liberties is expressly prohibited by the management. Yeah, exactly. Partially tolerable hot weather. It's a bit warm, but not too bad inside. It was definitely tolerable when I went outside as well. There we go. The angels clearly tried to set the druids on me.
All are one, and one are all.
Judging by the fact they're over here and they've never been over here before. Hey look, we could go fishing. Oh wait, wrong game.
Hello. Good to see you again.
Found this recording of you and one of Jean's men in a cove.
Oh, dear God. How did you get in there? Listen, you have to believe me. It isn't what it sounds like.
They say they're your contact. How's that possible? Heard the gunshot, you killed him? Oh, he needed to die from what I heard. They say it's your contact. How's that possible?
Not. He's dead. He was trapped in the interchange. I know this will sound unbelievable.
Oh yeah, I remember.
But I promise it's the truth. When the disaster happened, I assumed my contact was dead. After all, he was trapped inside the interchange, wasn't he? At least I thought he was. But I saw him again. Once. Or some version of him anyway, out in Casterfell Woods, before I came to the island. He turned into one of those blue monsters, utterly mindless.
He
I
became a
couldn't believe
feral.
It was him, but,
Okay.
well, my contact or not, that thing died that day. Died for good.
He wasn't a feral in there. What happened to him? Did you tell anyone else if you knew he was dead? Why did you send me after the letters, Rob? What happened?
The soldiers killed him. I was lucky. Well, sort of lucky. I was rescued by the protocol, although they promptly arrested me. There's something poetic about that, I suppose. I had to leave the mainland, leave those woods. So I came here. Now, the cove, where you found that recording. That was our emergency meeting place, in case his cover was blown. I'd picked the spot and gave him a copy of the key. It was never used, of course. The disaster happened, and, well, like I said, I thought him dead. When I came to the Isle with Jean, I decided to camp out there. I thought it would be safe. One day, while I was recording my latest findings, that outlaw arrived. He was clearly sick. His eyes were blue. He was not himself, just like that thing I'd seen that day in Casterfell. At first, I thought he was some madman come to kill me. But then he started talking. He said things I'd never told anyone. Well, no one living. And then he started talking about the voice. And I realized he was infected by it too. He started coming towards me. I didn't have any choice. I was trapped in there.
Killed him. The outlaw was your contact?
I didn't want to believe it. Couldn't believe it. And then he was coming at me and I defended myself. But the thought that it might have been him speaking to me, I had to know what happened to him. That's why I asked you to follow his trail.
Yeah, my guess is that infection by Oberon has a similar mind-connecting effect that this angel has, which would make sense. And it wasn't so much the contact that was coming after her in that cave, as much as something controlled by Oberon, or under the influence of, that recognised her through the knowledge that had been absorbed by that awareness. And yeah, presumably attacked because he was nuts, I guess. That's horrifying. Went you through that. I don't think you ever be certain if it was him. Contact or not, you still killed the man. Who, yeah, I'm kind of not bothered into the circumstances. You read his notes, he died in the interchange. You read his notes, he died in the interchange.
Some relief in this story being told, at least. All I want is to move on.
Your first letter back yesterday, taking it. Nice.
Eating me up. I've not looked Jean in the eye since it happened.
Did we have to? She wouldn't have a problem with that. You don't want to get involved with those bandits. Should know what you've done before making that. She should know what you've done before making that decision. Right. Sympathetic. You did what you had to do.
Thank you. Knowing that someone has heard the full story and forgives me gives me hope. I don't know if Jean considers me a friend, but she's the closest thing I have in this place. I can't afford to lose that. But please, no more discussion about this. Some things are better forgotten.
Yeah, I did a bit of fishing over the weekend. I did a few bits, actually. I also launched a nuke and harvested a whole bunch of flux as well. Basically because I want to change the skin on my power armor, and I needed flux for a somewhat similar jetpack. Also, I noticed these windows don't look smashed. I'm guessing they're supposed to have glass in them. Oh wait, no, that top one does look smashed. Was it? Trying to figure out. No, it's brick I'm seeing. It's the bricks behind it, not broken glass. So I'm going to assume there's actually still glass in there. Which would explain why she's up here. Because you've got this little fireplace here, which is closed off, but I'm guessing she can open it up. She's got space to kit, storage, a sound roof over her head, and it's mostly sealed up. Not very draft-proof in regards to that gap, but a fire, some sheltered walls, a chimney, bandits leaving her alone, and stuff. This is not the worst place she could be camping out. Cold in winter, but so I hope she could drag her bed and the rug and stuff over here in the winter and kind of curl up in front of the fire, and she'd probably be warm enough. And she'd drag the ladder up behind her. It wouldn't be the worst idea, really. I get it. All seen better days, so there's that. But she could also build. Get any sense? She'd probably be trying to find the tools to build the door, or two. Repair these and rehang them in some way. Block the gap up and try and be a bit warmer. IG, then she'd have to take them. Yeah, I probably would. How's it going, Steve? Yeah, I did a bit of fishing over the weekend as well as harvesting up some. This isn't going to trigger. No. Some flux. And crossed a couple of the challenges off. Regional ones. And I got the Mark III reel as well, which is nice. Because I now am. And today I did the daily and got improved gears or something like that. So you can basically catch more problematic fish before they get away. So yeah, bit of progress made. Rank 41 on the season, something like that. So there we go. Fallen angel. All rather weird.
Nancy and Aspel likely thinks me dead.
That's likely. She knows you're in the quarantine zone. If not, she might just think you're not in touch. Unless they kept close contact, I suppose. Right. Kind of deliberating on what to choose in terms of weaponry here. Mark 4, nice. An advanced drag, okay. Glowing fish and legendary fish. Yeah, building up the uncommon bait's definitely going to be the challenging part. I'm not in any rush really from now. All right. I think I really want arrow poison, to be honest. I don't really want the druid's tonic either, but anything else I want to sell? That's the $1,000,000 question. I do want, no, I think I want to store that and replace it with my auto shotty. I don't want the JM3. Question as to whether or not I grab the Falkirk again, though. High damage, high rate of fire, high accuracy. Excellent damage, low rate of fire, very high accuracy. I'm kind of inclined to hold on to the Enfield just because it's kind of got that iconic thing going on. And extra headshot damage. Distance. The Falkirk was doing good work before the update. I don't know if it still will afterwards though. I'm not just going to be able to tap heads in the same way. What I want to know. I'm kind of tempted to save it and go and find out. Let's give it a go for now. Gary's research notes. Anything else I'd like to sell? No, I don't think I'm in a rush to sell any of this stuff. Maybe the explosive lures, I'm not going to use them. Alright. Next question, to whom would I like to sell stuff? I'm going to go and see Molly. See if she's got any ammo or anything like that that I want to buy. And sort of make my way around, I think. Going Castellfell Woods is probably going to be my last choice of somebody to go and see. Because he's so bloody far away. Oop.
Eh? I saw that. I know you're there.
You didn't see nothing. Forgot about that.
Let's be civilized about this. Hands up. Bugger off, Sibby.
Oh, you're sorely testing my patience. Really want to go back there and just end him, just for his attitude. He's still in his place. The dirt under my feet.
About this crime? If so, report it immediately to the protocol officer. Remember, colluding with criminals is a serious offense.
I have to know what the supposed crime is.
Not sure about you.
$120, crikey. You gotta have the patience to put that time in, Steve. Hashtag stamina systems suck. It's not the worst in this game, but it's still annoying at times.
Hello again.
She's got some pistol ammo, definitely would like that. Got a shotgun rounds as well. Apparently I can take all of those, allegedly. Big mastery skills, first aid kits. Apparently, that's a nice even trade. Looks for me. Do that. Also works slightly more in her favour, apparently. Let's get anything else to dump on there. A bandage, apparently. Very interested in those. Suppose anybody would be, actually. That works for me, I think.
Nice trading with you.
Cool.
You need anything, Molly will be here.
Go see if the other guy, Bootsy, and maybe lady, his name I can't remember, and Skethermore might have some stuff to trade. May as well go to do the infrastructure. Yeah, it's not too terrible, I suppose.
Citizens of Wyndham, there has been an increase in outlaw activity on Slattendale. Avoid Slattendale until the...
Should be in Slattendale, not on Slattendale. That's what bothers me there. On Slattendale suggests it's a mountain. A dale, though, is a valley, as I remember. If I would have thought so. Feels like it should be. Then the Yorkshire Dales are all more focused on, Yeah, I'm stumped on that one. You right there, Ferro? How's it going?
Citizens of Wyndham, any attempt to interfere with the
Ports of Yorkshire, people. Dales, mountains or valleys? Because if it's a valley, then it's in Slattendale.
Not sure
If it's a mountain, then on is okay. I'd say the result's the same, Steve, except for where it involves switching between. Well, it involves rerunning the same content over and over.
is no longer responsible for your safety. If you approach any military areas in the area, you will be presumed
If you approach any military areas in the area. Weird way of putting it. I mean, I get it, but it still seems weird. No, that's strange.
Had a chain customer. Care to see me stock?
Fair enough. What's he got? Some G ammo, meds, some grenades. We do have that one. I don't know anything else he's got. Well, let me chuck a couple of grenades in there, I might. I could have the SMG ammo just for the sake of it, couldn't I? Not making a great deal of difference there, is it? So I might as well have it.
All trades are final. See you around, chum.
Zones, yeah, zones would have seen less of a weird double use of the same word, wouldn't it? Rubit's fucked off. Yeah, I mean, doing the content's all well and good for a while, but not much challenge, and there's also the whole how many times can you do it before it gets boring thing. When it's brand new, yeah, alright, run it a few times, but at this stage. Still, we have confirmation now that the update in September is the building update, change to the building system. And will most likely include a relaxation of the building rules. Don't know how I feel about that. Definitely have mixed feelings. But coming down on one side or the other, I'm not sure about. And they're claiming that the update in December, or so John Rush said at Summer Games Fest a couple of weeks ago, apparently. Is going to be the largest update. He's saying largest update ever to the game, but you've got to include Wastelanders in that, and I find it hard to believe that whatever they're doing is going to be on the same level as Wastelanders. I just don't think it will be. But it might be a bit, nonetheless, it does seem likely that it will be a big update. Nora, there we go. We don't know anything about it other than this one claim of its general girthiness.
Back again.
So we'll see what they have to what they have for us, I guess. Anything else I'd like to sell? Not really. Okay, all right with that.
There we go. All done. Watch your back out there.
And the other person is the guy in the woods, and he probably won't have rifle ammo, so yeah. Yeah, I don't know that it breaks the building system. I could see them going down that road, bringing many of the rules at least. They won't bring them all out. Some of the restrictions they won't want to overdo either. Like, you know, certain things can't be built in shelters and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what they do. Less collision. More floating things, I imagine they'll let you do. Yeah, I guess that's probably the case. Less collision restrictions and more floating of objects, I would think. Generally speaking. But we'll see. Find out in the next week or two, I think. Can't be long now until the PTS opens. End of the month, maybe.
Not sure I like the look of you. Get lost or I kill you.
The prison breakout, though, they don't let me over.
Gone. Must have spooked them. Off with you. Take them out. You'll suffer for what you've done.
Well, I've now confirmed. This thing does still do a one tap to the skull of these guys, so...
You are leaving Wyndham.
I pressed quick save button there to allow me to, you know, test out what I wanted to test there with the gun. And what do I get for my trouble? No save. Apparently. Need to get away from wires and having to connect things. I don't know. I see where you're coming from. Not a whole lot of logic to that, but there's not a whole lot of logic to the building system anyway in that regard, so... Clinging on to a sense of realism where there needn't be one, or at a time when it's past being relevant, perhaps. As for floating objects, it might allow things like not having to have things snapped to foundations at all times, and maybe being able to use upper floors for things other than just snapping them onto stairs and stuff like that. And use your building on water, stuff like that. There's a lot of things that floating could be used for that would be more worthwhile. So let's see what they do. What it's likely to do is make the blueprint system even less useful, though. Because if they relax the restrictions, the blueprint system probably won't have the rules it needs to understand how to reassemble a structure. Wouldn't think. But who knows?
Citizens of Wyndham, volunteers are required for work details on Scafamore. Work out to help out.
Just wanted to check something there. There's no passage of time in this game. Don't know if that's I don't know what to make of that. Could turn out to be a key story point, that. Could just be a case of not worth it to include it. We've freed up some room in there. Yeah, that works for me, I think. Right. So. There's nothing there. So if I get all, I can go. 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 Okay. So, Dr. Guerrero escaped. Now, sample 1 from the organism, that's the Oberon organism that affected the zone. Presumably in the hope of developing some kind of treatment. Hang on. Survived infection from the organism, hiding out in a secret lab. Wants to destroy the organism that's infected the zone, and needs the original sample for that, which is sealed somewhere in the deeper levels of medical wing, which I think I can now get to because I think I've got his card. It meant I could get down the lift to get it. So I think I've got that. Right. I've got Dr. Garrow out. I want to know more. Something else, wasn't there? Yeah, okay, that's that. Hmm. What I'm trying to remember is there was something in Casterfell data store that I wanted to find out about. I can't remember what it was. Hmm. Odd documents. I think it might be in that. Open biology report. The holder. Okay. Yeah, I can't remember. Is it buried in there somewhere? There should be some hint about. Oh, I was going to go for that and clearly forgot. Or I don't know. I don't know if there's anything else I'm desperately keen to have. Hmm. Money. Hold off at the moment. So we went to a great deal of effort so that I could get into the data store. I can't remember why. I think there's some hint in there about the origins of Oberon, maybe. It's like the bastard rats that they can't do anything about. You know what this place needs? A bloody big cat. Small tiger. Have you finished off sooner or later? Right. There's some meat upstairs I could grab, isn't there? Could also use one of these. No shortage, so I might as well grab one of those. Couldn't get the blueprint to... No, that's weird, Steve. I've had some issue with that. I tried building new design messing around with it. And I couldn't get any of that to place. And I don't know what was different about it, but it just kept saying stuff was floating, and it wasn't. There's a couple of things I did differently, but yeah. I know it's all a bit weird. I might mess around with it. I'm going to actually get stuck into that build that I've got planned tomorrow. Which I didn't do over the weekend because I decided to keep the weekend for myself for once. So, yeah. But does mean I've got a bit of catch up to do. Which is fine. Like the Garrow. So we busted her out of prison, and she chucked a jacket over the top of her prison uniform apparently. And she got back into the interchange. And yeah, we want the access to that. She's not to be trusted. Yeah, she's dodgy as fuck. She went from doing robot research to doing some weird stuff in the medical wing and not taking proper precautions. Definitely don't trust her much either. Don't trust much of anybody, really. Still, we're going to see what's going on with that and hopefully get access to that data store and find out more before we
My liberator
press on.
approaches. Many thanks to you. My apologies for running off like that, but discretion seemed very much the better part of valor at the time.
UI, open Garrow's prison cell. She fled down access tunnel into the interchange, locking the door behind her, yeah. Prison had a lot of security for a harmless scientist. How did you find your way up here? Who exactly are you? Who exactly are you?
Me? Well, so many hats, but I suppose I'm primarily known for my work in applied autonomous cybernetics. Which is to say robots. I was head of the department here. Things have certainly changed since I left the site.
Yeah, 5 years.
I never intended to return to so much fuss. And, least of all, a jail cell.
How did you get back into the zone? So it was quarantined. How did you get out in the first place? Why did you decide to return? So it was quarantined. How did you get out in the first place?
Simply because I was never caught in the quarantine zone in the first place. I happened to be in Oxford at the time. I suppose that was lucky, but, well, I couldn't just leave all this behind now, could I? I must say, I wasn't expecting garlands and adoring crowds to mark my return, but being thrown into jail was a little much.
Kind of think you probably
Lucky
deserved
for
it.
me that you popped by. And
Wouldn't
you
let her
have
out if I
found your
didn't
way
need
into the
to.
Interchange too. I am impressed. When quarantine was enacted after the disaster, I wondered if I'd ever see the inside of this facility again.
What is this place? What you just go to cause the quarantine? What's this place hiding? Where's everyone? Where's this place?
This is a fruit of the last war and the cold one that followed it. The beating heart of research into Oberon and the advantages it might provide to Britain. Slate caverns originally, but given over to science quickly enough when the government realized the significance of what we discovered here.
Now we've discovered here cause the quarantine, and who or what is Oberon then?
Oberon is at the root of all our troubles here.
Oh shit.
It's also unwise to ask about it.
Didn't ask
You've
what you
seen a
thought.
great number
Spit
of
out the
things
information.
that are none of your concern already. Really, I should be asking you just how on earth you got inside a secured facility.
I broke you out of prison. You think there's much I can't do?
Of trouble. What with the soldiers and the imprisonment and so forth, I shall do you the courtesy of pretending that you are perfectly within your rights to go gallivanting around secret government facilities. In all honesty, I really don't care where you came from. All I care about now is taking care of some business and then getting out of here.
1 out of 2, perhaps a quick deal. Not leaving till I get answers. Better off a man then. I need some answers.
Ah, such a curious cat you are.
Kitty got claws too, so yeah.
Well,
I suspect so, me and Grandma, yeah.
perhaps we can help each other. There is something you might be able to assist me with. Very well. A little quid pro quo is in order. Help me, and I shall help you.
You want to
My
watch or I'll
research
shoot
notes
you.
are still here in my office, and it is vital I recover them. My office is in the lower level of the robotics section. You'll likely need the signal redirector to bypass the electronic security to get down there. And for heaven's sake, don't touch anything you don't
I've already
need.
got her research notes.
Can you manage that?
And if I remember rightly, they are in shorthand, so I can't read them. Is the reason you aren't going yourself?
Well, to be blunt, because it's very likely dangerous. The automatic security measures may still be active. But I think you've proven that such things aren't a challenge for someone as resourceful as yourself. I mean, easy as pie for you, I'm sure.
I've already got it.
Astonishing that Miss Tanner should escape the convoy ambush with nary a scratch. An unusually resourceful young woman, clearly. She's taken an undue interest in some of our more secure systems. One might reasonably wonder why. I intend to keep my distance from her. I suggest you do the same. Don't forget about our little agreement. Recover my notes from robotics, and I'll see about getting us out of here.
I've got them, but I have no intention of giving her... Like, I don't trust her as far as I can throw her, but I want access to... Casterfell damn thing. I mean, I'm tempted just to kill her, to be honest, but... Yeah, theoretically, the game expects you, I think, to let her out before getting down into robotics.
Don't forget about our little agreement. Recover my notes.
I've got them.
Oh, good show! Oh,
I can always shoot it later, can't I?
Relief to have these notes back in my possession.
Assuming she doesn't run off again.
Security concerns, you see. Can't have any old Tom, Dick, or Ivan taking these for light reading.
Am I down there mentioned you were hurrying mining operations? What's going on down there? You promised to help me and nearly died. Am I down there mentioned you were hurrying mining operations?
I thought I'd warned you about reading classified material. Try to understand. We were pushing back the very boundaries of known science. Britain depends on progress like ours. If she's to compete with the rest of the world, we couldn't afford any delays. Every decision that was made was for the good of the project. Now listen, I have an offer for you.
Stupid.
While you were off fetching my notes, I've been trying to extract what data I can from here. Information was buried, almost as well as the site itself when the quarantine was called. Now, I have unearthed some of what I need, but it has become clear that the most sensitive research is elsewhere. Many of those records were kept
what I
at
wanted.
an external data store at the Casterfell Dam. Given your success so far, perhaps you are willing to make the trip. There's a positive cornucopia of information there. More than enough to satisfy even your curiosity. Well,
she's a damn fool at best. Why do I feel like there's strings attached? Go on. What about getting to the thing? Why do I feel like there's strings attached?
Now. The point of a bargain is that both sides undertake obligations. Of course there are strings attached. That is the way of the world. Listen carefully. Much of our data was stored at the depot site. It should still be accessible if you can get the memory cores operating once more. All the answers your heart desires are there, I assure you. 2 important points, however. Once you're done, you must run a particular command or all your efforts will be wasted. Gen era, Gen E-R-A. Note it exactly. Secondly, you must not take anything out of that bunker. I cannot overstate that this is all highly classified. Now, here's the keycard. The bunker is out in Casterfell Woods by the dam. I'll mark it on your map.
Alright, she wants me to run the command in the store. I'm not sure I will. I want to go there and find out a lot of information, but I definitely don't want to be like teaming up with her. Yes, this way. I mean, yeah, she's not in any way instilling faith in me. She was taking crazy risks, doing almost just basically everything that was bloody awful in this scenario that led to this. She had a key role in creating the situation. Okay, due to a lack of a better idea.
I don't know. Some bugger playing hide and steer them all. You hear me? Dead. This isn't over. I'm not. You've had it.
Another shot, huh? Not happy about that, but anyway. Happy about a bit of pistol ammo. You better have a decent amount of rifle ammo and preferably, well, you've got two. Well, it's something. It's not much, but it's something. This game definitely needs better tracking of information than it has. Like, they're trying, but keeping up with like all the threads and leads and the organisation of things is, especially when you've gone off and done something else for a while, coming back to just check bits of information is like, it's not as easy to find the information you're looking for as it could be, I feel. Right, so I need to get to the dam, so up top and along there is probably the fastest route. That way, innit?
Let's just calm down.
Is that it? Did I scare
No
him
need
off?
for violence. Else teeth.
Right.
Off with you, or you'll
Cut then.
regret it. You're pushing your luck.
It destroyed that, I thought. On we go. Stairwell clear. Nobody there. Looks like they have anything I want anyway. I need to risk that particular loot pinata. A591. Yeah, game needs binoculars. Needs better tracking of, or better organisation of notes and things like that.
We don't know you. Stay sharp. Don't want any more surprises.
They're coming this way, which is probably going to mean I'm going to have to.
Keep sharp. No more surprises.
No, I won't be able to go this way.
You are troubling.
Yeah, binoculars, better management of the notes, ability to hide bodies. A couple of other bits and pieces I've forgotten as well now. Plus the DLC not being the best. Definitely room for improvement, but on the whole I am thoroughly impressed with it. Oh, the accents, that was one of the other things. Need to sort those bleeding accents out. Sort of having so many people who are supposed to be locals with Welsh accents. Yeah, I do still think they've done a very good job with this game on the whole. Got a few little bits and pieces. There's the bot we destroyed. Not sure how it's still burning. Yeah, okay. So the first thing I need to do is get the power back on in here. Well, I'd like to have a look around and see if there's any food actually. I'm sure there will be, or any other useful research resources. I was probably thinking of a different bunker there. Scheme theory. Probably some kind of clue involved in that, but I don't have any idea what it's about. I'm not going to get the clue, am I? Or the hint. Yes, because the power is... Yeah, electrical's over there, and I can't get in without Gary's authorization, which I now have. This is locked, but no power. Crafting space from the look of it. Up there is probably where the information need is. Possibly in there. We can get into the canteen. We scarfed down a bunch of food. I won't find any that I haven't already nicked. I have already grabbed everything in my initial visit. Like it, doesn't it? Yep, looks like. There we go. Data storage powered down. To protect the components, contents of data store, powered facility down. Need Garrow's authorization to direct power back to the control room and start place up again. Let's turn that off, which I'm quite happy about. Oh, great, now we've got rats. Wonderful. Now they can get out of the ventilation system. That's quite cool, though. I wish there was a better solution for this. That scared the fucking shit out of me. There's no battery in it, so it can't come back to life, but it started making noises and I kicked it, and I did not like that. Right, got him at last. Degrees to 2-1 for night time, sure is. Sure bloody is. Couple of training stimulants, that's nice. 7 now, so. Do for now, I think. We got in here goodies. Retraining stimulants. Guys, me is wondering if using all these training stimulants is going to be a really bad thing when I get to the end game. That it might not be advantageous to have not leveled up at all. I'm assuming not, but, you know, you have to wonder. Radiation resistance is appealing. Not going to be my priority, I don't think. Alright. I see. What I had in mind.
Target spotted.
Ooh. A flower I definitely would like a lot more of. There. Data store is now online.
Power restored in Customized data store, long-term storage. Data interface console is ready for voice input.
I believe it's down there.
Hello? Is that you? Or somebody else? Oh God, now I sound like an idiot. It's always isolation. Forgive the surprise, but I detected the power surge there. Look. That bunker you're in, I presume Garrow has been poking around there for something. Well, I need you to do something for me. That place contains the most recent experimental data from the site. It's vital that we get our hands on it. There should be a console. Transfer what data you can from the memory banks onto a tape. Let me see. Yes. The command gen move should do it. Bring the tape to me when you're done. Or, well... or I'll no longer be able to help you. Good luck.
Yeah, that's quite the ultimatum. Do exactly what I want, or I will leave you here. I won't help you. Basically the gist of everybody's position here, but still. So, Garrow wants me to run the era commander, which is presumably erase. Whereas Joyce wants me to run the move command. And frankly, I don't want the data getting out anyway. Save and just see what's what. Access recent data.
Proceeding with data access. Please speak the keyword.
Oh, we've got lots. Oh, so many things. Start with, let's start at the top. Atomic battery.
Assessing. Matching data entry found. Outputting. Please speak a keyword.
Okay, cool. Arrow.
Data access denied. Reason, security level. Please speak a keyword.
Okay. Holder.
Matching data entry found. Outputting. Please speak a keyword.
Interchange.
Matching data entry found. Outputting. Please speak a keyword.
Quarantine.
Assessing. Matching data entry found. Outputting. Please speak a keyword.
Protocol.
Assessing. Matching data entry found. Outputting. Please speak a keyword.
Robotics.
Matching data entry found. Outputting. Please speak a keyword.
I don't suppose we're going to have much luck here, but try Windscale.
Matching data entry found. Outputting.
We couldn't get Garrow. The chances of us getting a success on this one is minimal, but we'll have to try it anyway. Oberon. Holy shit, Garrow's the only one we couldn't get information about.
Please speak a keyword.
Never mind. Right, so we've just got ourselves a wodge of information. Okay, start with Windscale. Facility construction. Windscale facility began construction in Redacted at the site of the newly discovered Oberon artifact. Site's primary function is to generate redactive and provide, provide cover for redacted operations, research presumably. Ostensibly conducted as a nuclear power plant, two purposes: closely guarded secret, analysis of the artifact presumably. Continues on site, findings can thus far be found in dossier number redacted. Okay. Turn out the interchange. Constructed in Redacted, there was a covert infrastructure system to support barred research in the study of Oberon. Facility can be considered, facility can be almost be considered something, such as a computational power held by the Redacted and supported by its 4 data stores. Interchange has its own power supply, atomic presumably, capable of functioning indefinitely in the event of nuclear attack or even Redacted by Redacted. Okay. Atomic technology. Much of our work on Oberon or Windscale facility would be impossible without atomic batteries. Another offshoot from research into Oberon objects. These compact power supplies are second to none in power supply with peak output of Redacted. Remember, in the event of containment failure in an atomic battery, you should immediately Redacted and Redacted. Failure to do so may result in lifelong Redacted. Mutation, presumably? Okay, let's find out about Holder. Dear Mr. Lancaster, my name is Holder, presumably. No, Redacted. I would like to express some concerns about the conduct of one of my colleagues, Alan Holder. I believe Dr. Holder is performing experiments in secret on the first sample, presumably. He's purposely neglecting production of Redacted, Oberite, presumably. And our research into the advanced version of the serum, or whatever the sort of fungus is that is the basis of the what's that? Their training stimulants. He claims he's the only one trying to keep us safe, but I see the glint of madness in his eye. Our Holder's never been a team player. This goes against direct orders. Once I have proof, I'll send it to you. Quarantine. The redacted substance has proven scientific marvel since research began on sample 1. presumably fungus or something, alien fungus. Initially, it was discovered within Oberon during mining operations, Oberon chamber presumably. Experiments are ongoing into the effects it can have on cognitive function of humans, and early prototypes of a training simulant, presumably, have begun human trials. Since the substance origins are a matter of great conjecture, but one thing at least seems certain, it's definitely something. Alien, presumably. Extraterrestrial. Protocol. In the event of catastrophic redacted, there are protocols in place for the immediate imposition of a full quarantine protocol. Should those protocols be invoked, a facility will be placed on immediate lockdown. All staff will be killed, presumably. Terminated, I'm guessing. Failure to comply with the protocol, or locked in, one or the other, may result in redacted, or even redacted. Presumably, staff will be locked in, presumably. The failure to comply will result in ultimately being shot. Robotics. The robotics department is run by Dr. Garrow, one of the most brilliant minds of the generation, and somebody probably is going to need a bullet in the back of a skull. Using the latest advances in microelectronics and their own research into the redacted, generated by Windscale, they've been able to construct obedient metal servitors that can act as guards, porters, or even something. Remember, if one of our mechanical allies malfunctions, it can immediately be deactivated by simply saying the trigger word, redacted. Fucking hell. And Oberon. Discovered in redacted. The object redacted. The object is redacted in length, redacted in width. Drilling operations provided a source of Oberite, presumably, invaluable in the production of atomic batteries and other atomic technology. Initial attempts to breach the outer layer of the object led to the discovery of an organism, alien presumably, which was immediately transferred to the interchange for further study. So there's an organism that's infected people. It seems to be some kind of... I wonder whether or not... The vibe we were getting from this fallen angel and stuff was of a sentient organism. Maybe is using whatever the Oberon item is as a means of transport. And they're sounding like, oh, we used to be here on Earth and then we left and now we are returning. Which is alarming in and of itself. So the move command extracts it to a external device. Gary wants me to do the ERA command. I can only assume ERA is a race. Picking and crazy, my spelling wasn't all over the place. So I'm going to save. I'm going to try actually doing what Garrow wants, which is erasing the data, because that needs to be done. We know Tana wants us to get sample of Oberon and any other data possible to take with her when we leave. When she leaves, probably planning to leave me behind anyway, but anyway. I definitely don't want that to happen, so let's see what happens when I go erase.
Accepted. The gen error process is irreversible. Are you sure you wish to proceed?
Oh, I did just save it.
Proceeding with gen error. Alert. Memory bank damaged.
That doesn't look good. Erase the data. Around the command that data characteristics cause all the data to be erased. Ran the era commander data stores requested by Gary. Doing so seems to have destroyed all machines inside. Gary's waiting for me back at the interchange. Ignored then leave command request. So, Tanner is now out of the picture as regards helping me. She might try and kill me, so I should bear that in mind. This place has been destroyed, and the data that was in it, the research data, is no more. And we've got what information we could regarding Oberon and the rest of the project, which is, frankly, not telling me much. Holder seems to have a better idea in general to me. His idea of trying to come up with a cure, make sure that, especially given this, what appears to be the case with the Fallen Angel and presumably therefore Oberon's intention of spreading across the world and I don't know, probably destroying humanity or something, restarting the world or something. Yeah, preventing that, a cure might lead to destruction of Oberon. Potentially a better chance of getting across the bringing this to a safe conclusion, rather. What I want to do. I haven't been up here yet. I didn't realise there's actually a way easier way to cross the area. I should have done this early. I think I want the antidote, but toss it in storage when I get back to the interchange. I'm surprised that Garrow seems to be intent on destroying the data, possibly just to protect themselves from prosecution or something. What they've been doing here is obviously not good. Well, I'm surprised. They seem determined to protect their research data and their research notes. I'm guessing if they've got the notes, they don't need any other data. Probably. It's probably why it's in shorthand, so nobody else can read it. And she can get the research out. This puts her in a position of saying, I'm the only one who has this information. You can see the Abbey on Midsummer Isle just from here. We were earlier. Yeah, the voice on the telephone is keen to tell us Garrow can't be trusted, and I don't think that's incorrect. So far, their goals seem to align with mine, and ostensibly, I don't know what the goal of the voice on the telephone is other than the destruction of Oberon. But at least they're saying that's their goal. Could also be a lie, but who knows. Catch you later, Cal. Have a good night. I'll have to see. I really don't have much in the way of rifle ammo.
Steady now. We'll have no strife.
Don't go asking for trouble, or you'll get it. What?
Off you go, and paint my boots with your teeth.
Bollocks!
That's what stupid people get. What's in the face? Affected honeycomb from it. Interesting. Infected bees. Interesting. Quiet and peaceful for now. They want sample 1. Other than, so we don't really know anything we didn't know before. Other than seems to be that if Walter can figure out a way to develop a cure from, then any adverse effects of the training sims might not be a problem. Any potential infection by Oberon when we head that way might be mitigated. Decisions. We might be able to stop the spread and end the quarantine that way. I don't know that Garrow's intents are so positive. And again, if it comes to it, I can always just shoot Dr. Holder if it becomes a problem, can't I? Probably. Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if that might not be the play. Let's just have a quick chat with Garrow and see what happens, because I think we may want to hold off on progressing any further here.
Excellent
Maybe.
work. The system reported that you ran the command as I asked. Thank you. Reliability is the greatest of virtues, I often say.
Well, a roboticist, that's not really surprising. Why did you make me do that? Did I destroy the data? I can hope so, but the answers you said I'd get there were almost all censored. Yeah, she's not keen on sharing, which is another reason I don't trust her. I might go with that one. Did I destroy the data? So it would seem. I hope so. Censored.
You were expecting to waltz in there and learn everything that even our highest security cleared scientists weren't allowed to know?
I'm going to start shooting you very soon.
I admire your optimism. I gather you've never encountered British bureaucracy before. In all sincerity, I am very grateful for your help. In return, I gave you all of the answers that I'm permitted to.
Which is nothing.
I'm sorry if that hasn't sated your curiosity, but it is all I can do.
She's becoming more of a problem. I've done everything else. You owe me answers. You won't be getting any more of my help. If you won't give me information, perhaps I should beat it out of you. I'm tempted. Let's try the blunt. I'm not going to go straight for violence yet.
Very well. I'll answer a question or two. You'll see it all for yourself soon enough, in any case. What is it you want to know?
Start with Oberon, I want to know all about it. What did you find here that needed to be quarantined? Disaster, what happened? Start with Oberon.
Ah, now. Oberon. Oberon turned out to be very much a Pandora's box in reverse. Full of good things. And one very bad one.
Well, that one bad one alone is not...
It's a meteorite, you see. Fell to Earth in Shakespeare's time. But remained buried until shortly after the war. Its shell was thick and yielded a mineral we call oberite, an astonishing material. It allowed us to make the most amazing leaps forward in electronics. I mean, just look at this place. The computers we built were generations ahead of the best machines of anywhere else. Robotics came next, and even some forays into synthetic intelligence. But, oh well, then we dug too deeply into Oberon in a very literal sense. And that was when we had to enact the quarantine protocols. We had no choice.
The quarantine, what was inside Oberon? And what caused the disaster site? Why the quarantine? What was inside Oberon?
While we were mining at the Oberon site, something was uncovered.
Which she pushed to be done faster and without due caution.
Fungus. Not of this world. It seemed benign, or at least not malignant. So we took a sample of it to the medical lab to run some tests.
Turns out it wasn't benign, it was malignant.
It produced intriguing cognitive advantages when inoculated in small doses. It was some months before we realized its negative effects. We might have continued to study it, developed remedial measures, but for the disaster at the Oberon site. A few days after that were chaos, until a full quarantine protocol was enacted.
What caused the disaster?
We drilled a little too deep at the Oberon site. The materials gathered from there were essential to our robotics development, so rapid extraction was of paramount importance.
Which we kind of already knew.
How could we have foreseen what would happen? We exposed Oberon's core, and with it, a massive release of energy. And much more of the biological matter inside was released. The protocol was enacted almost immediately after. Exposing the core also seems to be the cause of the interference field around the site. Soon the zone was completely shut off to the outside world. The escape plan. Very well. As all of this started with Oberon, I'm afraid that's also where we must finish it. You must get to Oberon itself, down beneath the power plant. Once there, use the mining equipment to extract a sample of the core.
I suspect I won't be doing that.
That's all you need to do. Extract a sample and bring it back to me. Then I shall get us both out of here.
In the way of ending this for good, how does this benefit anybody but you? You suggested we take a sample out of the quarantine. You just can't be suggesting we take a sample out of the quarantine.
It doesn't delight me either, but it's necessary. It must be understood, and effective countermeasures developed as a matter of urgency. And to be frank, the country needs every advantage of scientific knowledge. Without the work we did here, Britain is doomed to sink into irrelevancy. The restoration of power to this place has allowed me to retrieve some fascinating data. It now appears inarguable that Oberon itself is the source of the interference field that shrouds the zone.
I could have guessed that.
And the best outcome for this area is that the quarantine and interference field remain in place. As long as the equilibrium of the quarantine zone is maintained, I believe it will keep this marvelous and terrible thing frozen indefinitely. So you must extract a sample, but leave Oberon otherwise untouched. Do that, and we can escape.
Oh, we'll maintain the quarantine forever.
Consider my offer.
Till the end of time. Well, it's not going to fucking happen, is it? Sooner or later, something will break
too
it.
much at the Oberon site, and you'll set events in motion that cannot be reversed. Be sure you are fully prepared before you go there.
I'm almost certain she needs a bullet in her head, but she won't leave without a sample of Oberon, so I don't have to shoot her just yet. Joyce Tanner thus far has got nothing. She wants a sample of Oberon and any research data she can get out of there. Also not going to happen. I'm sure Mother Jago would like something similar. At least would like Oberon intact. I don't see any reason why... Like, this idea, oh, well, we'll just keep the quarantine zone intact and we'll take the thing out and then we'll get scientific advancements, which is back to square one, because it's exactly what they were trying to do before that made the mess in the first place. And also, it'll be fine. There won't be a problem. It's like, this quarantine, no quarantine is entirely perfect. That lake out there is not a lake, it's a lock, and it opens onto the ocean, and I can only assume it's in some way sealed off on that side as well, but I can't imagine how what. But that seems like a potential vulnerability. I've no idea where I came from or who I am, or how I got in. She got in, admittedly surviving a helicopter crash, but she did. Like, this quarantine zone is not fucking secure. It just... she's insane. Until someone says we have no choice, you know, they ignored every sensible choice before getting to this point. Well, we've seen a lot of evidence so far that she was just throwing caution to the winds to pursue her own research and clearly wants to do so further, so no. I thought for a minute she might have the right idea, but no, she's still continuing her insane, destructive path. So we're not going to go with that. So I think next time we'll be doing... destroy the organism together. That seems like a promising approach as well. And the voice on the telephone also wants me to make sure Oberon dies, or whatever that might be. I need to know who the voice on the telephone is. Yeah, or more about them. I'd like to, but I'm not going to find that out, am I? Not until the end of the game, anyway. If I find out at all. So we're going to go and look into sample 1 next time for Dr. Holder, in the hope that we can cure this insanity, or at least, you know, because the quarantine zone ain't going to work, so we need to put an end to the problem, and hopefully destroying Oberon and destroying the fungus will lead to a resolution that doesn't involve maintaining a unreliable quarantine for the rest of time. Hopefully. So that's where we're at currently. There we go. So yeah, we'll have to see how this pans out. That idea didn't work, did it? That's all. That's as good as that's getting. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. It looks like we are moving somewhat towards a conclusion. There are supposedly 6 ways out, I think it's supposed to be, plus 7 if you, with the Wicked R DLC. So we've got Voice on the Phone, Garrow, Joyce Tanner, Holder, Sims and Protocol, presumably. So that's 5. Ignatius, which is 6, and there's 1 that I'm missing so far. 1. Oh, did I say Mother Jago? Garrow, Joyce Tanner, Voice on the Phone, Mother Jago, Holder, Phone Voice. Yeah, that's the other one. And Ignatius. So somewhere between Holder and the Flame Voice seems to be the more sensible approach thus far, but we'll have to see, won't we? Anyway, we're going to pursue this tomorrow, which I think would have been the plan either way. I don't suppose tomorrow will be the final part, but I imagine we'll be getting closer. We'll have to see. We'll definitely push on in that direction. We'll see what happens with Holder, because I think he's the last person we really need to kind of find out what his end game is. And then I think we will be doing... Well, we've got at least 2 data stores we need to open and get stuff before we press on. So I think there'll probably be at least 2 more streams of this. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm looking forward to finding out what's going on down there. I think from my personal take, the play would be, if you're going to do this with the DLC, get all the way up to having everybody else's cards on the table, and then do Wicked Isle DLC once you've got everybody else's, requests in, up to and including potentially, like Garrow and everybody else. Then do the DLC, find out what the Fallen Angel and Prior Ignatius or whatever his name was wants you to do, make a decision there. In my case, I decided not to have anything to do with their insanity, and then push on from that point and make a decision, because it thus lines everything up to make a choice and head towards the end then. But we shall see. Yes, I think we're going to push on with this and focus primarily on Atomfall and get it finished, which I think we'll probably be able to do this week. I'm getting that vibe anyway. So yeah, we'll do that, and then that'll leave us with Oblivion, Tainted Grail, the Altars. Still 3 games to tackle, which is still a lot. I don't know if I push on with Tainted Grail or not as a priority. We need to see what happens with Oblivion. And I need to test Oblivion and find out whether or not I can get my whether or not the unofficial patch solves this issue that we're having with the audio. And if it doesn't, that makes the decision a lot easier in some ways. So I think I'll do that next. And then we'll sort of see where we go from there, I guess. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Looking forward to pushing on some more. I do think this game is still, for now at least, my Game of the Year candidate. We'll see what else happens. Tainted Grail's in the top end of it as well, I think, so far. And the Altars may or may not do it as well. It looks very interesting. And I'm hearing more and more good things about the Outer Worlds 2 as well. It seems like they've tried to build on and overcome the shortcomings of the first game with the second, which logically is what one would try and do. But, of course, you've got to agree on what those... There's fluff on my camera. Got to agree what those flaws were and then succeed in overcoming them as well. So we'll see how that actually pans out. Yeah, I probably do want to play that. It does look somewhat like there's no chance of squeezing The Witcher 3 in this year. Fuck knows when we'll get to that one. We'll get there eventually. Once I've thinned out the amount of stuff we're wading through and I can make it, like 2 sessions a week. So I'm down to like 1 game other than Fallout on the go, then I might be able to consider what's going on. But we've got the Outer Worlds 2 and Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines at the end of the year to think about. And is that the right thing? Yeah, I did click the right thing. What else is there? There's Crystal Theatre of Idols I want to have a look at. That looks fun. Kronos New Dawn is a maybe as well. It's an interesting sort of shooter horror thing that looks fun. I think I probably won't bother with that one. You know what? I think I might actually delete that because I'm not that interested. Go away. That one I haven't seen anything of in a while. Is God Save Birmingham. That probably won't be a big priority. Exodus. Oh yeah, Exodus. That looks interesting, but that won't be till next year anyway. Blood of the Dawnwalker's listed for next year as well. That's fine. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's got no dates on it. Some stuff that's allegedly pointing at this year that just doesn't have any particular reason to think that's going to be that close. Slash 2 got any news on its launch dates? Yeah, nothing announced yet. It's, nothing much going on there. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming up ahead, but the big two are Bloodlines and yeah, Vampire the Masquerade 2, Bloodlines, or Bloodlines 2 rather, and the Outer Worlds at the end of the year. So we'll have to see how those go. So we definitely need to clear a lot of stuff between now and then, but we'll see how we go. Anyway, folks, thank you for hanging out. Hope you've had fun. Yeah, you seem like you're doing all right, so that's cool. We'll push on with this tomorrow. Should be good. As I say, we'll try and get this crossed off this week and move on to the next set of things, because we've sure got plenty to keep us busy. Yeah, should be good. I've not put the Expanse game in there because it didn't look like I did. I'll just check that while I... Oh, good God. It's doing an update on the bloody software, which it didn't do when I opened it 30 seconds ago. Yeah, I'll have to have a look. You know what? Let's do it the other way. Cyrus Reborn, I think, was it? All right. Yeah. Yes, that's the one. The Expanse of Cyrus Reborn probably won't be for a while yet, but it's a what looks to be a somewhat Mass Effect adjacent game from Alcat. They normally do CRPGs, which is an interesting turn, but they normally make damn good games as well, so we'll see how that pans out. Wonderful. Very, very weird. Anyway, my computer's being weird and updating the Office software. I've got LibreOffice, and there's apparently an update I'm getting, which I didn't ask for. Normally it lets you choose this, but it seems to be just doing it to me. Anyway, whatever. So yeah, you know, with the button type, if you haven't already, like, subs, notification bell, all that good stuff, I do appreciate. Social media links in description, channel memberships under the video on the blue join button. If you want to check that out and you haven't, I appreciate that too. And yeah, I'm sure there's something else as well I'm supposed to say about, but anyway, you know, all that stuff. Yeah, playlists if you haven't as well, if you want to check out the rest of this series and any other series as well that we're streaming, you can find it all on there, so that should be cool too. Yeah, for now, we'll pick this up tomorrow around about 8ish. Have yourselves a good rest of your evening, have a good day tomorrow, look after yourselves, stay safe, and I will see you around about 8 o'clock. Have a good one, folks. Night.
Yeah.